Good morning, everyone. This is Luciana Turner with this morning's morning tidbit. Ah, yeah, I hope you had a great and refreshing weekend. There's so much to do. First off, I want to start off with a summary of last week. On Thursday, I ended tidbit with talking about what are your next steps? What are we going to do now? Friday, I did a YouTube live and I did a Facebook announcement, but I somehow failed to email my list, and that's my apology. I did a Facebook talking about components of the president's, well, it's actually $1.9 trillion package that was passed through Congress and what it entails. There's, multiple parts of it and how small businesses should be looking towards this package to get in on the groundworks. And you know what? I've decided to include a bit of that information here. There's actually $621 billion dedicated to the modernization of transportation. Now, Virginia has already announced, I believe the announcement was made 3 weeks ago, that they are not only modernizing their railway, but they are expanding their railway to connect themselves to parts of North Carolina, West Virginia, and they want to connect their railway so that you can travel up to New York as a quote weekend getaway. They are partnering with CSX and Amtrak on this very ambitious endeavor. What they talked about in their press release and their announcement was that they realized they can't keep expanding 95. I am from the DMV area, not originally, but I moved to North Carolina from there. And I lived technically 30 minutes from work, and it took me an hour to get to work because of traffic on a good day if I left at a certain time. And some days, traffic was so terrible until I used to just, quite frankly, go have dinner and wait it out. So what they're trying to do is make commuting via rail more appealing by improving that as an option. Now that improvement is also going to excuse me this morning. That improvement is also going to include creating a separate rail line for cargo. So transportation and cargo will no longer share the same line. So there will not be this ridiculous delay every time CSX is trying to get through while Amtrak is trying to run a commuter train. So it's very ambitious. They're talking about it's going to be a 10-year project. However, how many small businesses was on that call? How many small businesses were in the meeting? How many small businesses were in the room? And I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a whole lot of ranting from me over the next days about this because I was in the meetings, I was in the calls. There weren't that many small businesses present, and the ones that weren't present were obviously not prepared because the questions being asked, quite frankly, I was upset and frustrated for the presenter because some of the questions were, quite frankly, highly inappropriate. Some of the questions had no business being asked in that forum. That was not the forum for pontificating. That was the forum for getting questions asked about the best way to position yourself. That was not to go in there and talk about the unfairness of the global economic plight. No, you go do that somewhere else. That was a networking event. That was an information gathering event. But that's going to be a tirade you're going to hear from me another time. I'm getting ready to focus again. So how do you position yourself to get one a piece of the pie? I'm going over my 5 minutes, but it's going to be worth it. To get a piece of that pie. Now, as small businesses, we all know we do not have the capacity to totally bid on some of these projects coming out. We know that and we understand that. We may have the capability, but we don't have the capacity. But you have the ability to partner. And this is the time to start having those strategic conversations. We need to stop just having conversations for the sake of conversations and start to strategize our conversations and having them with the correct people so that there is fruit from the conversation. And I will pick up on that on tomorrow on how to have fruitful conversations from this point forward. So catch you tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. And that's another thing of government contracting. 10 o'clock after hours when I'm off work. I understand parallelepreneuring. I did it for myself, but this is that make it work time. This is that I'm listening to calls on my way to work versus rocking my favorite jam. This is that I'm going to be plugged in while I'm doing my work, taking notes on the side time. So and signing up for the call so I can get the recordings and revisit time. This is that I'm going to just really understand that nobody is going to be doing business after 6 o'clock because I have a 9 to 5 because they have a family and that's why they started their business so they can set their hours. Time is making work time is sacrifice time. And in the beginning, we do what we don't want to do so that we can live the life that we want to live. So with that, be good to yourself, decompress. I know I just dumped a lot at you. I know I just said you're going to have to do extra work, and I'm getting ready to tell you that a frustrated mind can't create, but your mind doesn't get frustrated when it knows where to go. Guide your thoughts, guide your directions, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a good day.